Everyone. We are live yet again, another week, and David's wearing another tablecloth. Just kidding. I have to always throw a jab at just sort of, ritual. Like, I'll stop one of these days. So, David and I spoke several months ago about the Cuomo brothers. We spoke about how the governor should resign. Well, he's gone. And how his brother is just duplicit and, a sidekick, and he should go. Well, take a guess what, guys? They're both gone. David, what do you got to say about that?
Well, Stuart, the words "it's about time" it just amazes me. And then I'll tell you that one of the things is that, when you look at what happened with the Como brothers this weekend, it was absolutely justice. So CNN finally admits, that they had to fire him, and other media outlets went after CNN. Some of them went after CNN. And what's interesting is, and the thing that pisses me off is that it was, Andrew Cuomo wanted to tell everybody he's a god. He was never wrong. Chris Cuomo, on the other hand, was a sanctimonious piece of garbage who told all the viewers that if you didn't agree with him, that he held the higher esteem, the higher value, that he was all about, you know, he knew what was right. And if you didn't agree with him, you were wrong. And you
Yep.
know what the problem is, Stuart? That the guy still believes he did nothing wrong. Do you believe that? He did nothing wrong. But the message delivered by the law firm that went out and investigated him, because CNN wouldn't do their own investigation, they sent it out to an independent law firm, and very quickly they came back and said, yeah, the guy's got to go.
Bye
The
bye.
guy really went way over the line. And what's crazy is, like, justice was served. I'm happy to see him go. I don't cry for him. Although he contended a few months ago that he did nothing wrong. Again, he was on a radio show last week when he was suspended, and he said he did nothing wrong. Man,
You
did
know,
he
you
do
know, you
anything
know,
wrong?
David. The criminal left always seemed to call out the right for actions that the left actually does. Chris Como, he's a very skilled guy. I mean, he survived longer than most, and he had the highest ratings on CNN to any other reporter.
Still does.
I guess Fox News now really has the top
No,
15.
no. The problem is that here's the thing that really throws yourself for a loop, right? So Jeff Zucker is the guy who's heading the department there, and he failed. Why did he fail? It has nothing to do with doing the right thing. Stuart, the crazy thing that he did wrong, Jeff Zucker, was that he looked at the ratings and said, if I get rid of Chris Cuomo, we have nothing. So therefore, despite the fact that his guy absolutely breached every form of journalistic integrity, lied overtly. I mean, Brian Williams lied on NBC. He got rehired by MSNBC. I mean, like, obviously, if you lie, it doesn't make a difference because liberal media doesn't matter. It doesn't
Exactly.
matter. And the
And
thing is that despite the fact that Jeff Zucker, sorry, should have fired him a long time ago, the son of a bitch went even further and he actually praised him. He praised him.
so does that mean we should ask for Zucker?
Well, Zucker's out. Apparently, Zucker's out. He's a lame duck because there's a new organization there, and he's there temporarily. But it just shows you that, unfortunately, Stuart, that these guys like Jeff Zucker, I mean,
But we called this. But we called this.
oh, it doesn't make a difference.
You
It
know,
really.
you know, you know what? It's like it's kind of frustrating. There are a lot of people. Look, I got my cousin in California who actually worked on the Kennedy campaign, who, you know, says that we just need to move on. We just sort of need to be more inviting and we should just get along. And what I don't understand is why don't they just get along?
Well, because it's back to the whole thing. You either agree with me or you're against me. And again, here was a proof positive. Was their poster child. I mean, here's a guy who covered the Vatican. And here's a guy who had a whole bunch of shows, and he's the darling of CNN. And he tries to show, and I mean, he remember he vilified and went after Donald Trump. He tacked Ron DeSantis when the heat was on his brother, but he had to. He is exactly what CNN and liberal media wants. It's attack the right. That's it. That's what he does. And Jeff Zucker and the rest of those cronies wanted to protect this guy because it's ratings. Failing ratings is what's hurting them. And so as a result, it's, why
Well, they don't have
investigate?
Donald Trump. You see, they don't have enough shit on the president that they're willing to publish because they don't want to hurt the party more than they hurt themselves. Because, I mean, let's be honest, there's no shortage of blunders that, Joe does or Joe's
Yeah, but
sidekick.
Stuart, the problem is this, okay? And again, Chris Cuomo wants to show you not why the left is in the right, but or correct, but that the right is wrong. That conservatism is bad. And Chris Cuomo was a perfect example of it. That it's the do as I say, not as I do philosophy that you keep hearing from the liberal media and the liberals themselves. It's again, I mean, listen, with all due respect to him, yes, I grant him that he fought to save his brother. I respect that he wanted to, blood is thicker than water. I get all that kind of stuff, whatever. But the sanctimonious piece of garbage went out and tried to tell everybody where they're wrong. And he breached every form of journalistic integrity just so that his brother can get off scot-free. He was willing, like if your brother is, or if any family member does something as egregious as what Andrew Cuomo did, which was assault women, and you're willing to help him get away with it, you should go to jail. Both of you should get adjacent cells, for crying out loud. Okay? But instead, CNN, MSNBC doesn't
But
want.
Risa got some good ones here, right? She's right. The midterms are coming soon.
But
In
Stuart,
other
this
words,
is
they just need
no,
enough
guys,
cash flow to
guys,
get to the
guys,
midterms
no,
to
guys,
start just
guys.
slandering all these guys.
Risa, you're diverting from the point of here. You're diverting from the point here. We need to send a message to journalists and politicians alike that this is intolerable. Okay, Andrew Cuomo assaults women, and his brother on the media side goes out and does whatever he has to do to save his brother's ass. I don't care about the
Well, does that make Chris a co-conspirator?
Yes, that's why I said they should both have adjacent cells. Frankly,
I would wonder if the district attorney, who that I forget her name, how darn it, who is that? She said that she was going to go after Donald Trump. Who is the DA?
you're
And
talking
I
about
want
Letitia. You're talking about Letitia James, the
yes,
agent
Letitia
in New York.
James.
Letitia
Yep.
James, yeah.
I want to know if she's got enough fortitude
She's not
to
going to
go
do that.
after the Como
Not
brothers and
gonna,
indict them.
she's not gonna do that. And therein lies the problem. Is that if you're gonna go expose these folks, you're exposing yourself. And that's to me where I heard an interesting thing, and I'm gonna sidetrack a little bit here, okay? Bob Dole died on Sunday. And the
98
interesting
years old.
and the comment that I heard from both, even the liberal media, went as far as to say is this was the guy who bridged the gap between both parties. Okay, in the old days of politicking, he was really, it was very, what he did was really interesting. What's scary is you have Andrew Cuomo today's politician, who would rather use death, COVID, to further his political cause, just like he did. He lied profusely about the number of deaths and the real situation in New York, and he got away with it. He nearly got away with the numerous women who accused him of assault, and he nearly got away with it. Okay, more and more and more and more of this, they're above the law attitude. And I'm
Well,
sorry.
David, I got to put this on the screen. If you are listening and you are able to file this in New York, you can file a complaint against Letitia James. And you should file a complaint against Letitia James for not doing her job. I think that it's about time. Republicans and Democrats and independents always seem to fall on their laurels and like, oh, I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to file a bar complaint. I don't want to go after them. I mean, what's the point? I'm sorry. You need to take control of your own destiny and file that complaint. Because if you don't file that complaint, she's going to get reelected. She's not going to do her job. And I think that, hey, I sit fat and pretty in Florida. I got a good governor. David, you're in another country, though you do
But
like
but
to visit New York.
but you know what,
But
Stuart?
you
You're
need to call
again.
these people out.
That's the thing is like, you know what? I'm sitting here and I'm watching it. Like you said, I'm in another country and I'm watching this game show happen in front of my face, this reality TV show happen in front of my face. Okay. This is about, you know what? We're trying to generate ratings. We're trying to generate shit. We're trying to create a buzz. We're trying to create nonsense. But the reality is that this is more than that. This is much, much more than that. Okay, this is Andrew and Chris Cuomo collaborating together to cover up a crime.
Yep.
That's what that is. And if
Yep.
you're caught with your hands in the cookie jar, baby, you should be arrested and treated out. But you know what I was good. You know what's going to end up happening, Stuart? And this is my call. Don't be surprised if Chris Cuomo suddenly ends up being a primetime show host at MSNBC or another one of those liberal media. Guarantee you.
Listen. I am again trying to encourage everyone in the New York area to file. I put the phone number up for the OAG to file that complaint. But remember, don't file a false complaint because we don't want to be like those people, like the Cuomos, and lie. We want to say the truth that Letitia James needs to file charges
Yeah, but
and
you're not.
call him a co-conspirator.
You're going to good luck with that. But I think that that's wonderful. But you know what? It's more than that. It's interesting how our people are being tried in the court of public opinion, right? It's out there in the media. It's yelling and screaming and whatever. And people are guilty or innocent in media. I don't see enough of that when it comes to the Cuomo brothers.
Nope.
It's time for. I mean, it's sad, but it's the media that is trying people. The court of law is great, but by then it's too late. And as much as I want them to both go to jail, it's too late. I want to see their reputation completely shattered, destroyed in the public.
I agree. I agree. Look, they shouldn't be tried in public opinion as they try everyone else.
Oh, by
They
the way,
should
I'm
be
sorry.
tried in a
I
court
need
of
to.
law.
I also want Jeff Zucker and others in CNN who let this go, who buried the story as much as they could, who agreed to allow Andrew to be interviewed with Chris during the beginning of COVID. All these co-conspirators, and you know they're going to say they're not complicit. Dig deeper, people, and I would be willing to bet you that CNN stinks badly.
You
And the
know,
other media, hold on, and the other media, like the MSNBCs and the CBSs and the ABCs, let it go away. They didn't call them out. Yes, Fox called it out. And you know, Howard Kurtz, who runs this, media buzz on Fox every Sunday, he said he knows Chris well. He has respect for Chris, but Chris went over the line. Fox is the only one who's calling these people out
no,
when
we
they're.
called them out. We called
I
them out
know, but I'm
before
saying
Fox did.
right. But I'm saying more and more of the general media has to call out. If you're gonna shit all over, the conservative media, liberal media deserves to be held on to the same regard.
Yep. On that note, David, look at the signal. We're getting to that quarter hour. Wow.
Do you mean
Is
to
that
tell me you have
amazing?
nothing else? You mean to tell me you have nothing else to add in this situation?
Listen, we talked about Letitia James, about she needs to file charges. We've already talked about the Cuomos. We called it well in advance. It's a told you so moment for all those lefties that really have no ability of looking beyond their nose. This is because of them. And you know what? They're mothers and fathers of daughters that get sexually molested by complete monsters. And these monsters need to be taken into justice.
Well,
And if
including the
Letitia
including the
James, as
pub.
the attorney general, refuses to do
Yeah,
so, you need to report Letitia James.
it's going to be goes beyond that. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, we're going to love you and leave you. I'm going to wish you all a good week. We hope that stories will improve, but the media loves to give us all this fodder, and the politicians are helping just as much. So wish you all a good week, and we'll catch you on Wednesday.